Okay, welcome to this Monday.com webinar, Automate Your Business. So I am Damien Edwards, the Commercial Manager of Intraface. We are Monday.com Gold Partners with offices in the UK, US and Hong Kong. And we have transformed the way hundreds of businesses operate with a simple mantra. We design simple to use, connected systems that allow organizations to operate with more speed, and we provide complete visibility that allows organizations to control their processes and their performance. So we work with clients including KPMG, HS2 and the Commonwealth, and we can provide for you a consultation and a demo of the Monday.com system, as well as full implementation and support services. Our support packages include a dedicated customer success manager and account manager. We provide full scoping of your requirements. Each support package includes a block of training and setup time for you, and of course an annual support contract. And in our Rocket Power and Warp Speed packages, you get proactive support that is quarterly, that is 6 monthly or 12 monthly executive business reviews of your system. So Monday.com is a customizable work operating system. Teams create and shape workflows to plan, run and track their processes and operations. It is a cloud-based SaaS platform, facilitates a more efficient and intuitive way to manage teams and organizations. The platform connects people to processes and systems, empowering teams to excel in every aspect of their work while creating an environment of transparency within your business. The platform fits any business vertical, and it's currently used by around 150,000 paying organizations around the world from around 180 countries. Monday.com is recognized as one of the fastest growing SaaS solutions in the world. It is built, it includes a building block structure, which means you can create the system exactly the way that you need it. And because your business is going to be always evolving, when you need to make changes, you can do this by adding parts on or remaking existing parts of the system. You do not get this with most of other systems, and this is where Monday.com is really leading in the market. So what will we show you today? We'll show you how you can automate much of the processes involved in inquiry handling, task management, marketing automation, and the sales process. But let's first have a look at the tools we have, the automation tools we have available within the Monday.com system, what they do, where to find them, and how to set them up.
Yeah, so hi guys. So first of all, I'm going to show you a little bit about the automation recipes that are available inside every board that you create in Monday. So the idea behind these automation recipes is that they can take the data from within the board itself, and then you use it to carry out a specific activity. So you can see here on the board, the automation center in the top right-hand corner here. And then at the top, we have a couple of pre-built automation recipes, which we'll take a look at a little bit later. But in the top menu here, we have the automation center. So there are a lot of automation recipes within the automation center. And then down the left-hand side, we have all of the categories that will allow you to trigger your specific automation. And if you can't find the automation recipe that you're looking for, then Monday offered the ability to create your very own custom automation, which we'll cover a little bit later on in this webinar. So let's take a look at a few of these automation recipes, especially if you're new to automation. it might be a good starting point to look at the basic automation recipes. So a common automation is to notify someone when a status changes on a specific item. So for example, here, you may be using Monday to manage your team's day-to-day tasks. So if you had a status, for example, of completing a task, so maybe a status of completed, you could send a notification to a project manager once somebody marks that item as completed. So if we go a little bit further down in the categories here, we'll take a look at those notification recipes. And they are a fundamental way in Monday to alert someone of essentially any kind of action. So whether you move an item into another group inside the board, then you can notify somebody, or whether when a date arrives, so maybe you have a particular deadline date or a date that an item is starting a particular task off from, then when that data arrives, we can notify someone that you need to notify. Now, these are great and simple ways to keep all of your team in the loop. But let's take a look at a few other automation recipes down this left-hand side. They are based on triggers. So if you have a status column inside your board, then again, we might want to create an update for an item. And again, we have a whole range of different options within here. And we'll take a look at a little bit in more detail a little bit later on in the webinar of how we can create these. We can also set reoccurring automation recipes. So this is particularly good if you are setting up something like subscriptions or maybe monthly rental, like we are going to do in this particular webinar today, as we can create a new item each month with all the necessary details in the column. So dates play a significant role in the majority of boards that we set up. So if you're using a date column within your Monday board, then this automation can trigger new items, notifications, or even moving an item into a specific group. As we move down, one of the most popular automations that we tend to create is basically on a new item being created. And it is a powerful recipe to create an item in another board and connect the two boards together. Now, this works particularly well when you're looking to see a high-level overview of all the items. So maybe we could create a board to show a master task list of a collection of the items in a range of different boards. So if we move into the move item category, now again, a lot of the boards that you will create inside Monday do consist of a large number of groups. So when you move an item into another group, then this is a perfect example when to use the move item automation recipe to maybe to notify somebody that an item has been moved or update a particular column within there. So that is some of the categories for the automation recipes. And again, we are going to cover a few of those a little bit later on. What we also have inside the boards are the ability to integrate. So Monday integrates naturally with a number of different software packages. And if we jump into the integrate option in this top section and then jump into the integration center, you can see here a range of popular cloud-based packages. And again, down this left-hand side, we have a whole range of different categories that we can select. So one of the popular ones, again, that we work with are tools such as Zoom or Slack. So what that allows you to do is any activity maybe that happens in Zoom, for example, when you're scheduling a meeting on Zoom, we can have that automatically create an item inside Monday on a particular board. So that could be good for scheduling. But we also have the ability to post items to Slack on here. So when an update is posted in this item, then we can send it to a particular user in Slack. And that's a great way of collaborating on the different items within Monday. Another popular category that the integrations are available in is the customer support section. So we've worked with support packages such as Zendesk here, and that allows you, when a new ticket is raised in Zendesk, to create a new item inside Monday. All these recipes are available as pre-built recipes, so you don't need to have any coding knowledge or anything like that. It is a no-code recipe, so you can essentially click on the recipe that you're wanting and then have that integration pre-built for you. So there are a vast amount of integration possibilities within this integration center on Monday. And if there isn't an integration that you're looking for, then Monday does have an API and the ability to integrate webhooks too. So if you are looking for a particular integration and you don't find it in this center, then please do get in touch with a partner such as ourselves, and we can assist to create a custom integration for that particular software package. So a little later in this webinar, we're going to show you integrations with Gmail, with calendars, and also with Twilio. So I'll hand you back over to Damien.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's go through then a workflow from start to finish. We're going to use the example of an estate agency in this workflow, but really this or similar processes are going to be suitable for most types of business. So we're looking at a solution here on our screen for an estate agency business. And this includes a number of boards down the left-hand side. We've got contacts. We have a board for companies split into different groups. We have a board for all the tasks and appointments that need to happen in an estate agency. And then we've got a couple of boards which are management level boards, a sales manager, a sales progression board, and then we've got a forecast board down here as well. So each of these boards has different views available to them. We can see the property board split into groups like this. We can also view these properties on a map, which is really great for a real estate business. And we can view them on cards like this, a bit like a real estate and estate window view. So we have split this workflow into 4 sections: inquiry handling, task management, marketing, and the sales process. Each one will use different tools and integrations. At the inquiry stage, we will show you how a chatbot can handle the request and collect the required information. This part of the process uses a custom-built API integration between Monday and Twilio. At the pre-launch stage, we'll show you how you can automate tasks within the Monday boards. Then at the marketing stage, we're going to use some standard Monday integrations and custom developed integrations with listing sites such as Rightmove. And at the sales stage, we've automated the process to book viewings, provide confirmations, and manage offers. So let us bring up our phone here on the screen. So we're going to show you simulate making an inquiry. On this occasion, we're going to make the inquiry via WhatsApp. So I'm going to say, I would like to get a valuation on my house. Let's just open up our contacts page whilst we're doing this. So we've had a response here that says, hello, welcome to Smith & Jones Estates, no problem. Please, can I take your name? So I'm going to put my name in there. Tom Jones. And we can see we've got a response. Thanks, Tom. Please, can I take the address? But we can also see on our board that that contact has been created for us and added to the contact board. I'm going to put an address of my property in now, 1 High Street, London. And we should see now that this is going to create a property for us, and it's going to link that property to the contact. It said, great, what day is best for the agent to call to value your property? I'm going to say tomorrow. And it's used an integration with the agent's calendar. So on the available date or the requested date, it's given me 2 available slots. So it's at 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. I'm going to suggest 2 p.m. And we've got a response there. Perfect. Thanks, Tom. Our agent, Holly, will see you at 1 High Street, London on Friday the 2nd. Thanks for contacting Smith & Jones Estate Agents. So you can see the contact that it's created, and we will get an appointment also. So that valuation has been created. It's pulled in the property, that the address of the property that I put into WhatsApp, and it's booked in that evaluation appointment based on the availability in our calendar. So it's created those 3 records automatically. There's no human agent involved here. That's a direct integration, automatic, a built-in automation. It's created our property here, link that again to the contact. We go back into the contact page. I can see the contact and I can see the property record that it has created.
Yeah, so
I'll show it to Andy, who shows a little bit about how we do that.
Yeah, so as Damien mentioned, then this is essentially an inbound Twilio integration, which is custom built. Now, what Monday does have is it has the ability to also integrate Twilio with an outbound automation. So if you just go into the integration center again and click into here, then we'll see the option to integrate Twilio. If you click onto here, we'll see on the automation recipes that we have a different range of ways that we can send out maybe an SMS message to the customer using an outbound integration with Twilio. So these are great for communication purposes. And as you can see, there are quite a large number of different recipes. All you'll need for this is a Twilio account so that you can authorize and connect the 2 up together.
Okay, thank you. So let's move on to the next stage. That's managing the tasks that we need to get the property to market. So the valuation has been completed. It's agreeable to the client, and they've instructed the agents to list the property. We're going to automate the tasks now required to get the property to market. So if we go back into our properties board, we're going to move this property now into the pre-launch stage, and this will trigger an automation that generates a series of tasks for us on the task board. So this is the task that it's created, a marketing task, and it will generate a number of subtasks for us in the next few seconds, which will allow us to or will be assigned to individuals that will do things like the photography, write the description, and any other tasks that are required, such as social media. let's come back to that in a second. When those tasks have been created. So we can track the progress of each of these tasks within this board, and we have automations built into this that both remind the task owner of the deadline and escalate the task to a manager should the deadline overrun. So we have our notification center here, and any tasks, as I say, becoming due will appear. We'll send out a notification to remind the task owner, and we go into our task or into our dashboard here. Then we have our tasks overdue stage here. So any tasks, as mentioned, that overrun their deadline date will be escalated into this dashboard so that a manager can take action on those.
Yeah, so let's take a look at some of those automations that have been set up on these particular boards. And we'll first take a look at the properties and the automations inside this particular board. So automations in the real estate case study that we're looking at today are obviously a fantastic way to keep the agents on top of the viewings and also obviously the listings and any particular matches. And in this particular board, you can see that we have 11 automation recipes in place. So quite a few that handle a lot of the mundane tasks that you might necessarily forget sometimes to do. So this covers that particular requirement that it does it for you. So quite a lot of these allow us to preset statuses. So you can see here when Damien moved an item into the pre-launch group, then we set the listing status to pre-launch. And then potentially what we could do there is we could say that when a status is pre-launch, we could then notify a particular sales agent in that case. What we also saw was the ability to create additional items when an item is moved to a particular group. And that's particularly good in the sense where we were looking at a moment ago for marketing. So if we moved an item to pre-launch, then there might be a set number of tasks that your marketing team need to carry out. So whether that's posting on social media, whether that's sending out a particular email campaign about a property to get everybody interested, we can preset those quite easily and quite quickly using an item creation automation recipe. We can also see on this particular board that we can set the sale dates automatically. So when a status gets updated to agreed, then we can set that sale date automatically to date and timestamp that particular time when that sale date was. So again, it's making sure that the fundamental parts of your board and the columns that you need that information in is getting done for you. So you only need to spend a little bit of time at the beginning when you're setting up your boards with these automation recipes to ensure that those columns and that data is getting updated and the right people are being informed at particular stages. So if we come out of here and then go into the tasks and appointments, so you can see in here, we have only 5 automation recipes assigned to this particular board. So if we click into here, again, I mentioned about the stage hit in marketing a moment ago. So we're creating sub items automatically. But in here again, we can set particular statuses. So when task type changes to appointment, we can then set an additional status of this called stage to sales. And then again, when an item gets done, we can automatically move it to the done stage. And that's really common inside boards because it allows you to archive your tasks essentially, to move them out of what needs carrying out now, and then we can archive them into a particular done stage, making sure that your team are working on the necessary tasks within that particular group. If I come out of here and then finally just touch upon the dashboard, Damien showed you a way of essentially displaying your overdue tasks inside a widget. So this widget is a table widget that you can see in the add widget section up here. And then if we scroll down, what this table widget is basing the information on about the deadline of a particular item being overdue. If I click into the little filter icon up here and then switch to advanced filters, we can see that it's looking at the date deadline column and it's checking if the date is in the past. If it's in the past, then we're wanting to show that within this particular table widget. And we can see that it's only the activities in the activities group that we're interested in. And that's how we create a predefined high-level overview of all the tasks and appointments that are currently overdue. And that's great for managers to be able to see.
Okay, thanks. So once all the required tasks are completed, the property will move to the live stage. And this will trigger the automation that runs our marketing channels. So let's move this now, this one that was created, into our listed stage. Let's open up and click into the marketing page, and we can see that already we've listed this property onto Rightmove. No clicks or anything just yet. That's happened just in the last minute or so. And as these properties get listed on other sites, then these will drop into this marketing page. Let's have a look at one that already exists and see if there's any stats on there. So let's go into the next one down, and we can see that this one is already listed on these two sites. It's also not only we automated the listing of that property on these sites, but it's also bringing information back in on number of clicks and inquiries. We have also integration with social media sites as well. And again, we're bringing back information in on the activity and the traffic on those particular posts. And also at the bottom, we've run a mail shot to buyers who match this particular property. So this is a fully automated process that process the match. The matches are generated using predefined criteria such as spec of the property, location and price, and emails are sent out to those people that match that property. And we're seeing that at the bottom here, all those emails that have been sent out are recorded against that property. So we know we get a full picture of all the activity, but importantly, this isn't taking any time for your agents. These activities are happening automatically.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think what we should do is let's just take a look at how we can do that with regards to the email integration. So we'll take a look at doing this inside the contacts board here. And what we're wanting to do is send an email to a customer if a new match has been found for a particular property which meets their particular preferences and likes. And what we can do is we're going to have a look at the Gmail integration in a moment, and we'll include the person's name in the email. We'll also include a link to the property. So you can see if a property is matched in our contacts board, then we have a link directly to the property on Rightmove. And what we're wanting to do is we're going to want to know if this matches column changes. So if there is a change to this and it's been an update to that particular matches column, then we're going to send an email with the details to the customer. Now, if I come in here, what I'll do first of all, I'll just remove this one and I'll just start the integration from scratch in here. So if we go to our integration center And then, as I said, what we're going to do in our case, we have connected our Gmail email up as our user. But if you, for example, use Outlook, you can also use the Outlook email integration too. So if I click on Gmail here, what we'll see is a list of pre-built recipes that we can use. And as I mentioned, what I want to do is see when a match is essentially added to that particular column, then we're going to extend an email to the email address that's provided on that particular person's row. So if I click on when a column changes, send an email to somebody. Now we've already integrated an email account on this. If you haven't, then you'll just have the ability to add a new account here, and you'll just follow through the authorization process. But if I click on Damien's account, then this is how the recipes look to set up. So you do have to choose the necessary columns in this case, and the necessary email content and who we're sending it to. So let's find the column that we want to see when it changes. So if we scroll down here, we have the matches column. And then what I want to do is populate the email. So when I click on email, we've found your new dream home. And then in here, what we can do is we can pull fields automatically from the items in the board. So we know that our customer name is going to be our item name, because that's where we store the customer's name. So we can bring that in. And then what I want to do, please check the property right. And then if I click on that, then you can see my match property link is going to be there. And what the great use of this is that it dynamically is going to pre-populate whenever a match is found on that particular item's name. So for our case, if an item is found for Tom Jones, it would just say, hello, Tom Jones, and then the link to Rightmove will be automatically put in there. Finally, we just need to make sure that we're sending it to the right person. So in our board, we have an email column. Inside that email column, we have the email. So click on there, and then we can click on Add to Board, and it's as simple as that. That will now automatically send an email each time a match has been found and there's been an update to that column to the email address that's been added inside this particular item.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So let's move on to the final stage of our process, which is the sales part. And we can automate much of the sales process, including booking viewings and sending order confirmations. So let's go into one of our properties again. And we can see within the sub-item of properties, all the inquiries we've received for this property. We can see the stage that they're at, and we can see the next viewing that we have booked on that property. Now we have an integration set up here with Google Calendars. You can integrate with your any calendars essentially. So the agents can view these activities as they come in on their mobiles or on their laptops out in the field automatically. Once we get to the stage that an offer has been made or a sale has been achieved, we're automatically mirroring these items up to a couple of different boards within our system. So firstly, we're mirroring onto the sales manager board. Sales managers keen on those that are under offer and those that are actually sold, so they can review that information in one place. And once we've got to a sale, we have a progression manager board. And so in here, we've got a number of checklists that we would need to go through in order to secure, to make sure that that sale progresses through to completion. And we have saved the best part till last. So when we complete on the sale on these properties, we have an automation that creates for us a brand new llama for each property sale within our llama farm. And if we pause on there just for a minute, you might see our llamas appear. I know you don't want to miss it, so we're going to pause just for a second. There we go. So that is it. So what did we show you? Inquiry handling using a chatbot, automations you can do within tasks within Monday, the marketing automation, and the main area was integration with external listing sites and social media sites, and then managing the sales processes, essentially through calendars and creating, mirroring up those property sales onto management boards and sending out notification and reminders to people within the business. So let's open it up to any questions that you have. If you've got any questions, please add them into the Q&A window, and we can answer those questions now and go back into those boards. We've got time, and go through any questions that you have. We have had a couple of questions in by email in advance. So let's start with some of those. Can you integrate with Xero so we can automate the process of creating invoices after we win a sale? So we have an integration with Xero available, and yeah, I mean, Xero is a good product. It's open to integration, so we can do that relatively straightforward. And I think that's quite a common request, to be honest. So let's jump back into the boards. When a property becomes sold, then you'll need to create a set of paperwork, and part of that are invoices to different parties. And so, yeah, you can manage that inside Xero. We've actually got, on this one, we've got a forecast that shows us the fee amount. So I guess that's the amount you're going to be as a real estate business, the amount you're going to be wanting to generate as an invoice inside Xero. We have another question. Do you provide support to design processes for a business? Yeah, absolutely, we do. So we are as partners, that's what we do. It's what we get involved with every day. We'll come in to your business. We'll scope out all your requirements. We'll get an understanding of what systems you're currently using, and we will help you design those processes and we'll set those up for you inside Monday. So we'll set up the boards, we'll set up the dashboards, we'll set up the automation, set up the integration, we'll provide you with the training. And the nice thing is that the person that does all that work is the person that's also your support contact as well. So they know your business, and when you need to make some changes or anything goes wrong, they can fix that for you very quickly.
I've got a question here. Is the chatbot a Monday built-in feature or integration? So yeah, so the one that Damien demonstrated with the WhatsApp chatbot, that is a custom built integration that we've worked on, and we feel that it's quite a good use case for quite many different businesses. So especially ones where you can manage your appointment bookings, whether that's a gym class, whether that's pre-booking a particular order that they can collect. Those kinds of chatbots can have automated responses, look at the availability from a particular calendar, as Damien showed you, and it's quite good. But obviously, each business is different. So the chatbot can be designed in pretty much any way. So however you want a particular conversation to go, we can essentially build that out in Twilio, so we can see all of the different messages and possible responses from the customers. So yeah, get in touch with us if it is something that you are interested in. We can discuss a particular flow that you want the chatbot to go down, and then yeah, we can get that integrated into Monday.
Yeah, and I think it's really good. Chatbots are really good for out of hours use, or in sort of high volume environments where you've got a lot of inquiries, but they're also good for they play a part in any business, I think, or they can play a part in any business, because you can program them to manage just part of the conversation. If you want to hand that conversation off at a certain point once you've collected information, and if you want to hand that conversation off to a live agent, then you can program them to do that, and you can use the information that the chatbot collected in order to route the conversation to the most appropriate person. So they can be very powerful in that respect to get an inquiry quickly to the right person. So I don't think we have any more questions, but thanks very much for your time today. I hope you found it useful, and show our appreciation. We're offering a 2-hour free consultation with a customer success manager here. So you could use this for setup help or training. If you want to follow that link there, intraface.com/web6, and that takes you to a page where you can register for that. It's completely free of charge. Contact details are on here too. So please contact us if you are currently evaluating Monday.com and require a demo, or if you're an existing customer and you'd like help setting up and getting the maximum possible out of the system. Thanks again. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye for now.